Hey plant friends, since fall is right around the corner, I figured now would be a great time to sit down and talk about what I learned this year, what I'm going to carry into next year, and some of the plants that I'm going to start from seed again, and the ones that I'm going to buy or I'm just not even going to attempt. This year, I'm really impressed with just how hard I work with my garden. I did start the majority of it from seed back in March. That's the first thing that I learned. I do not need to start that early, even though I live in Montana. If I were to start in April, everything would be just fine, and so I think next year I'll probably be starting my seeds towards the end or the middle of April. That way, even if we have an unpredictable last frost like this year when it was June 3rd, they'll be big enough and I'll be able to set them outside, or they can stay inside and grow a little bit more. Not only that, there are definitely plants that did much better when I grew them from seed versus when I bought them, and others didn't really make the cut. Squash is something that for some reason I seem to struggle with this year. I didn't end up getting too many squashes, and I'm not exactly sure why. Again, I started them back in March, so it might have just been me trying to grow them for too long without giving them the environment that they truly needed, being in a garden. My corn is doing pretty good. I didn't get a ton of corn off of it, but it did better than it did last year, so I'm learning. Corn is definitely something that you cannot grow in your greenhouse. If you notice, I mainly have tomatoes and peppers in here, and that's because last year I did try to grow tomatoes outside of my garden, and it was a complete and utter fail. Same thing with the peppers. The greenhouse here makes the perfect environment for it to be warm and humid, which tomatoes and peppers absolutely love, and in fact, they kind of need it in order to thrive. So next year, just like every year, my tomatoes and peppers will stay in the greenhouse along with some herbs that I'll be adding. I'm also going to try and grow corn from seed again along with my pumpkins. I'm very impressed with my pumpkins, just how big they are and how many plants stayed alive. Along with that, wheat is another thing that I think I'm going to end up trying to grow again next year. I ended up getting a good amount of it this year. I don't need to replant any raspberries, strawberries, gooseberries, or wild Oregon grapes. Those all grow wild here on the property, and so I'm able to forage for them as long as I do water them and care for them a little bit here and there. I did learn this year that grow bags are an awesome resource for growing larger produce when you don't have a ton of space. I used 2 grow bags this year. One, I went ahead and planted a bunch of potatoes in, and it is doing phenomenal. I'm going to end up with so many potatoes, I can't wait to harvest them. The second one, I went ahead and put in a pumpkin plant that I grew from seed, and it's also doing really great. So I think that grow bags are something that I'm going to add and use a ton more next year and for the growing seasons to come. I've also learned that patience is the biggest thing. You have to have patience with the plants, and you have to have patience with yourself. I'm learning. Just like everybody else who's gardening, I am learning. And sometimes you have to fail in order to do better with your plants. And this year, I definitely did fail with quite a few things that I'm learning the hard way. I really do enjoy gardening though, and I'm having so much fun sharing it with all of you. All of your guys' tips and tricks are really, really helpful, and I've learned so much from just the gardening community here. As the growing season begins to slow down, my videos are going to be a little bit different. It's mainly going to be based around getting everything cleared out for the winter. I do leave a good bit of the leaf litter down in my greenhouse and my garden, but I do need to pick up the majority of it just because come springtime, it is a big ol' hassle to clean up all of it after the snow has been sitting on it for a good 6 to 7 months. I really did have so much fun this year as far as the garden goes, and we are not done yet. We do still have 15 days until the first frost, and I'm hoping at least to the end of September for the garden season to finally be completed with.